Yo, what's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. You know how we do. Before we get started, we got a solid holler at the people. Thank you for watching this video. But while you're here, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and share it and leave the comments in the comment section. And do not forget to follow me on my TikTok and follow me on Blue Sky because I don't do the Twitter space. I don't support that space over there, so y'all can have it. But you want to holler at me, that's where you do it at. Or on here on YouTube. But what we want to do is wrap this doggone Shedeur stuff up. Simply because I have watched, I have listened, I have heard all the pundits from ESPN to Fox to YouTubers to art to writers, heard everybody's opinion, and the same exact thing keeps popping up. Everyone says the same word: humble. Humble is so much out there. Then the narrative of these interviews, that's two. And the NFL was proving a point. And that's the one that everybody said. The point was proven, or they were proving a point. But they will never say or never agree that the owners colluded on Shedeur and Coach Prime to teach them a lesson. They wanted to humble them. But what nobody has never said but myself is that Shedeur was never to be drafted. Shedeur was supposed to be a undrafted free agent because everyone agrees, it's a consensus across the sports universe that Shedeur was a top 5 quarterback. Should have been drafted in the first round, should have been drafted top 5. And should have been Cam Travis Shedeur. Everybody admits the Browns dropped the ball. And people say that there wasn't collusion. This video.
Take one of one. Legendary.
Sanders, end zone, caught, touchdown!
The skills that separate me from everybody else, that mental.
He's got the end zone, boom service, touchdown! That's pretty easy.
My mind works at its best all the time, consistently thinking of how to get in and out of certain situations, through the drops, through defense trying to confuse you through everything. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Jackson State in Colorado. The HBCU experience was legendary.
Shedeur Sanders, touchdown.
He drops it right in there, beautiful.
Sanders, touchdown for Jackson State.
Looking back on everything we accomplished there, at the same time, you don't understand the history that you're making while you're in the moment. So when I got to Colorado, and even now when I'm self-reflecting just on my college career, I look back and I'm like, dang.
It is Sanders, and he will waltz in, touchdown.
Dad,
I'm gonna get sick with it.
Coach Prime,
Here he goes.
Dion.
He starts the high step at the 25.
A legendary football player in the Hall of Fame. If you don't know him, just look him up. Playing for Dad is good and bad sometimes because his expectations for me is higher than anybody else. Draft night will be legendary, but I can't foreshadow how I'ma feel everything is authentic. So however I feel in that moment, I'm gonna feel. I'm thinking about day by day just getting myself better so I could be in my best form when it's time to get drafted and it's time for me to go visit my team.
Sanders again fires, end zone, touchdown.
Why should an NFL team draft me? If you want to be legendary, you know what to do.
Now, if you're not a top draft pick, they don't make that video at all, period. So everybody thought Shedeur was a top draft pick. The owners get together to conspire on Shedeur and Coach Prime. One, to teach Coach Prime a lesson. Because if you watched any of my other videos about this subject, I told you the owners and some of the people that are in the upper room right now in the management in the NFL played when Deion was playing. And now they get their shot at Deion, at Coach Prime. But you can't punish Coach Prime. The only way you punish Coach Prime is through his son. So it's a lot of people in the NFL that do not like Coach Prime because of the confidence and the arrogance they say he had while he was playing. But it's not arrogance and it's not bragging if you can do it or if you've done it. That's the difference. It's only bragging if you haven't done it. And this right here is another
We
reason.
ain't trying to change the franchise or the coach that don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people got to say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So we like the adversity. We like everything that comes with the name. That's why we are who we are.
Exactly. If it's not for that, they don't pick Shedeur. Shedeur was drafted 144th overall in the 5th round, and the Browns broke rank. They were not supposed to draft Shedeur, but the owner could not let that football player, that money, he couldn't let that money, because he not worried about the talent. He couldn't let that money sit and be left out, and he ends up going to another franchise. Because as an undrafted free agent, you get invites. You could get invites from all 32 teams. And then you get to pick where you want to go. And the Browns couldn't take that chance. Even though they just drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round ahead of Shedeur. But they wanted him from the jump. But the owners got together and they wanted to punish Prime. They were going to let Shedeur be an undrafted free agent. But the owners couldn't let that money just sit there and walk away. He broke rank. He did what he wasn't supposed to do. That's why they picked Shedeur in round 5. He was high on Shedeur. You got to think about this. Cleveland had visited Shedeur at the combine. They talked to him. They went to Dallas for the Big 12 Pro Day. They were at the Shrine game with Shedeur, them and the Giants. They showed up for the showcase. They took him to dinner. They did all that. After the showcase, the Browns had another workout with Shedeur and another dinner with Shedeur. They wanted Shedeur. They were going to take him in the first round if the owners hadn't colluded not to draft Shedeur at all in this draft. And they weren't going to do it. But one man could not resist all that money sitting there just waiting. Because as you know, since Shedeur's been drafted, his jersey has outsold everybody else that's been drafted. Everybody. Him and Travis, jerseys are just flying off the shelf. And everybody keeps talking about all these interviews and all. The talent speaks for itself, and they know it because everybody keeps saying the same thing. He should have been drafted in the first round. He should have been drafted no later than the first round. And everybody keeps asking the same question. Why? But they keep going back to those interviews. Those interviews did not outweigh the talent that was on the field. Trust me. Shedeur will start after the third game of the season because they know what they have. And there's no way they're going to let that money get out of the building. Soon as Shedeur was drafted, KFC, the Colonel was rejected 1,009 times before finally landing our famous original recipe. Sometimes all a Sanders needs is a little time to cook. Congratulations, Shedeur. And that was right up under his first Instagram post after the Cleveland Browns had drafted. But what we're saying is the collusion is obvious. Everybody's saying it. And people like Chris Carter and Jason Whitlock and JB and all these other haters, they can say what they want to say. Nobody in this draft did not have Shedeur going number one. Shedeur was the number one draft in first round draft pick without a doubt. You don't leave all that talent, and that's why he got drafted in the fifth round. They wanted him to be an undrafted free agent, and the Browns owner could not sit there and just let that money sit there without touching it. Got to touch the money. Because now, Shedeur can't be a backup. He's the biggest player on the Browns. He is the most popular player on the Browns. He can't start because nobody's going to want to talk to the starting quarterback because everybody's going to want to talk to the backup. It's just that simple. Shedeur will be a starter for the Cleveland Browns unless somebody offers Cleveland a boatload because they know what they got and they know what he's worth. Unless they offer them a couple of players and a few trades, Shedeur will be starting before the season's over with, probably game 3. He'll play more in the preseason than any other Cleveland quarterback, except for Flacco in that last game. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts, man. We gonna get out of here. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Shedeur went 144. They wanted him to be an undrafted free agent. But the Cleveland Browns owner could not let that money sit there. Way too much money, way too much talent. We can keep Dylan Gabriel, they can keep Shedeur, and they can keep Flacco or Kenny Pickett. I say they keep Flacco. But if Shedeur is going to start, Flacco might be able to ride off in the sunset. And they like Dylan Gabriel more than they like Kenny Pickett anyway. So it is what it is. But, man, y'all let me know y'all thoughts. Leave your comments in the comment section. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We out. We going to holler at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Peace.